welcome to the weekly online classes for learning how to write smart contract with Script.ts on BSB blockchain. So today we are going to talk on build-ins, and this build-ins is very important because the more you know the syntax, you can simply write many things. You don't need to write everything from scratch, because this built-in cover many. This built-ins are very important because you don't need to write everything from scratch. Script did everything to make your work very easy as a developer. So all you need to do is just call the appropriate built-in function and pass in the right argument in order to use the built-in functions. And the built-in functions are categorized into three main categories. The first one is the global functions here, and smart contract methods, and standard libraries. So we are going to talk on them one after the other. So let's start with the global functions. So the global function. So let's start from the global functions. This assert, it's like a Boolean expression that you will use to make sure that the contract is working as expected. So whenever you want something to either return true or false, if something has to be happen, then you put it in assert, because assert will authenticate and make sure that everything goes as you like, as planned. So if it is true, it returns and nothing's happened. If it is false, then it returns false and throw an optional error message of the condition. So otherwise nothing will happen. So this is an example of how we will use assert. For example, here we use assert and 1 is equal to 1. So this is true, and that means nothing will happen here, and it will just pass the execution. Yes. Then the second one is peel. So this peel is also very important. It returns a fixed array with all the size elements set to the value. So you can use it to set the value of a fixed array of the element in the fixed array. So these are the example. That means here you want this array of size 3 to be peeled with 1. So that means the size of this array will be peeled with the value of 1. So this is how we use peel, and it is used to fill in the element of the fixed array, because in the script we use fixed array. Then there is a mathematical functions that we can use in the script. So the first one is absolute value. So you can use this function to return the absolute value of a. So for example, the absolute value of 1 is 1, absolute value of 0 is 0, absolute value of -1 is still 1. Then you can also get the minimum of a number of the numbers and the maximum of the numbers. For example, here the minimum of a, which is of type big integer, and b, also of type big integer. So it will return the smallest of a and b. If a is smallest, it will return a, else if b is smallest, it will return the value of b. So this mean is a global function that is used to return the smallest value of number passed to it. For example, in this example we have minimum 1 and 2, and the smallest number is what? 1. It will return 1. Then maximum. This maximum is return the maximum number of a and b. So in this example we have the maximum of 1 and 2, which will return 2 because 2 is the maximum number. Then within, and this within is used to check whether a certain number is within the argument passed into this function. So it returns true if x is within the specified, otherwise it will return false. And it is left inclusive and right exclusive. What I mean by left inclusive and right exclusive is that, so it will return false. So in this example here we are searching the 0, and 0 is here because left is inclusive and right is exclusive. So here 0 is present and it will return true. And here we are searching for 1, and we pass 0 and 2, and 1 is in between 0 and 2, which is also true. So when we are searching for 2 between 0 and 2, it will return false because of this right exclusive. It used to exclude is the right value. Then the hashing, these are the hashing functions. They're also in the built-in functions like RFMD160 of A, which usually represent the Bitcoin address, and SHA-1, which returns the SHA-1 of the result of this A, and SHA-256, which returns the SHA-256 result of this A, and hash-160, which is actually RFMD160, which returns the RFMD160 SHA-256 of A, and fourth key to address, or it is just a wrapper function of hash-160. This is a new built-in function because we usually used to use hash-160, but this also convert public key to Bitcoin address. So, and this also hash-256, and this hash-256 is double SHA-256. As you can see, it returns SHA-256 of A. So it is a double SHA-256. And the next thing is byte string operations, and this byte string operation is very, very important because sometimes you will need to convert between integer and byte string, and also between byte string and integer. So you can easily convert integer to byte string. So, and the first argument you will pass is the big integer, then the size, and also is in big integer, and it returns byte string. So this is how it is being converted, and if the size is omitted and the n is could be converted to in the sign magnitude little Indian. So this, there is a link here. If you need more explanation about it, you can simply follow it. Then this is an example of how to convert between the integer and byte string. So here into byte string, you are converting integer to byte string, and this is the integer 128. So it will be converted to 8,000 byte. So, and this is how it is. So it is very, very simple to convert between integer and byte string. Then you can also convert byte string to integer. This is how it is. So you convert byte string to integer by passing the value of the byte string, and it will return a big integer. So this is how you will use it. So if you look at the example above, when we convert into byte string by passing the value of 128, so we got this, and here we convert this to integer from byte string, we also got this. So we can easily convert between integer to byte string and also byte string to integer. And also with the help of built-ins, we can easily get the length of a byte string, and it will return a number. So by using this function length, len, and you pass an argument of byte string, and it will return the number, length number of this byte string. So usually this is how it is. So for example, this is an example. Const s1 is equal to byte string, and this is it. So this is a function, built-in functions, and they are very, very easy and simple to use, and we can easily use them in our contract without any problem. So since there are many, I think we will finish the global functions, and then in our next classes we will talk about smart contract methods and standard libraries. So you can also reverse the byte string. So there are many things to do. You can reverse the byte string. You can also slice it to get the substring. So sub byte string, what I mean. So you can use slice and pass in the byte string, then the start, big integer, and the end. So you will get a substring of byte string. So this is an example. You can get the substring of message by passing the big end of the start and end, and that's it. And if you pass the value of the start without passing the value of end, so it will continue to the last byte. This is how it does. So if there is any question, you can easily ask it in the group, and I will be very happy to help and answer your questions. And I think we'll stop here for this session for this week, and maybe later next week we will continue. And this is just the global functions. There are many things, and this is very important to know, because you will be usually use them. Maybe for example, like that assert, in every contract you must use assert, because a contract must have at least one public method, and also a public method must end with assert. So you have to know the Boolean functions. They are very important. In case if you want to know more about the Boolean functions, you directly come to the official documentation of Scrypt by visiting the official website scrypt.io. and if you didn't register, just you can simply sign up. It is very easy. You sign up and get your own API key and click on the docs, then you will get this documentation and you can read all about Scrypt. So thank you everyone, see you next week.